Welcome to Petros Family Wealth. Today we're going to talk about a couple of different strategies that you could incorporate for an inherited traditional IRA. And I'm going to show you the impact of a made-up client that would be age 50 and just received an inheritance from their uncle. So let's go ahead and dive in today. So here we have John and Jane, Gen X, and their goals are to retire at age 65 with $100,000 of after-tax income, plus some additional spending for those initial years of retirement where they can go out and enjoy things when they're younger and healthier. In this example, the priority is for themselves and their retirement, not necessarily for a legacy piece for their children. As far as net worth goes, they have $250,000 in each of their 401ks. They just received an inherited IRA of $100,000, and they have Roth IRAs of $50,000 each. Their incomes are $80,000 each, and their Social Security benefits, we typically, in the early 50s, discount the value of the potential Social Security just in case there's some impacts to them if and when there's some reduced benefits. As far as their savings go, they contribute 10% of their income to their current retirement plan and contribute $4,000 per year into their Roth IRAs. So let's take a look at their current plan and then some tweaks that somebody might incorporate should they have an inherited IRA. So as you can see here, what we have is a pretty solid retirement plan. I'm going to incorporate the present value, so that would factor in inflation. One of the things you'll see is that they're doing well for their contributions and withdrawing from their retirement. But one of the pieces that you see here is in that 10th year. So an inherited traditional IRA, you have 10 years to effectively eliminate any balance in that inherited IRA. You could take a little bit of money up front, you could take a lot up front, and a little bit later. The end goal, as long as in 10 years there's zero balance in the inherited IRA. And so in this case, the client is growing that inherited IRA over time, and then that 10th year, they're distributing all of it, which is not the best strategy, and that's why we're going to show you a couple different ideas here. And I'm going to structure them as good, better, best for this particular client. One of the strategies we can incorporate is where we take out a little bit every single year to try to max out their current 401k contributions. And if we were to do that, that essentially would be a taxable event, taking money out of the inherited IRA, but then we deduct a contribution to their 401k, essentially eliminating that taxable event, or having a wash essentially. If we were to incorporate that over the course of time, the net effect you can see here is a value gained of around $200,000. It's pretty solid, and that's in today's value, off of a $100,000 inherited IRA currently. The second idea is to potentially funnel that beneficiary IRA into a Roth 401k. Now, if you were to do that, you have a taxable event coming out of the inherited IRA, you pay taxes, so there's a little bit less as far as what can go into the Roth IRA. However, for this particular made-up example, it does increase the value of their net worth over their lifetime, primarily because at least currently, the Roth IRAs and Roth 401ks, you don't have those mandatory distributions towards the end of life. And so in this particular case, that's better as far as the value gained. And then the third option, kind of probably the better option in this particular case, is that we funnel beneficiary IRA assets to their traditional 401k, so there's no impact on the tax situation. But then what we do is we incorporate for the beginning parts of their retirement where they might have a lower tax bracket in those initial years before the mandatory distributions start. And in this particular case, where we get the deduction or don't pay the taxes while they're working and are in the higher income bracket, but then in that sweet spot, we do some Roth conversions. What that does is you get the tax benefits up front, or at least the not paying taxes up front, and then we convert at a lower tax rate than they are currently. And that net impact is closer to the $300,000 range over the course of their life in today's value. So I would kind of structure it as good, better, best, funneling into their traditional 401k in this situation, $200,000 net increase in wealth at the end of their life. Funneling into the Roth IRA, as long as they're comfortable paying the tax up front, that increases their wealth by $268,000. And then the dream situation with required some additional planning ends up with their net worth growing by $368,000 in today's value, based off of a $100,000 traditional inherited IRA. Hopefully that was helpful in designing and sharing a couple different ideas. Each person's situation is different, of course. However, there are some techniques that we can incorporate some of the restrictions on the inherited IRA to actually have a net improvement on a client's overall situation. Hopefully that was helpful, and if you do find that helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any more. Thank you so much.